Hello, Waffle Crew. I hope you're all doing great. I'm Mark, and today we're diving into more Reddit tales. If you enjoy these stories, please consider smashing that like button, subscribing, and maybe ringing that notification bell too. Let's jump right into our first tale. Sending you all tons of love. Our first story comes from User Dry Season 1221, titled, Am I the jerk for skipping the birthday bash my sister-in-law organized for me? This has been weighing on me, and I need to know if I handled it poorly. Last Saturday marked my 35th birthday, and all I wanted was a cozy day with my husband, Chris, and our 5-year-old daughter, Eliza. I'm not big on going out unless it's necessary. I'd rather chill at home, to be honest. Everyone who knows me is aware of this. While we were enjoying a movie marathon, my sister-in-law, Whitney, 29, called and asked if I'd like to go bowling with her and some mutual pals. I politely declined, explaining I wanted to spend my birthday with Chris and Eliza. She kept pushing me to join, but I held my ground and said no. She got upset and abruptly ended the call. I texted her an apology, but she didn't respond. A few hours later, a friend called, asking why I bailed on the party Whitney threw for me. I was shocked. I had no idea about any party. Whitney only mentioned bowling during our call, not a celebration, so I declined to focus on family time. My friend called me ungrateful and insensitive for ignoring Whitney's efforts after she put so much into planning my birthday. I apologized, explaining I didn't know, but my friend insisted I was wrong for not going along with the bowling invite. I called Whitney afterward to ask why she didn't mention the party. I would have attended if I'd known she'd gone to all that trouble. She said the bowling invite was her way of luring me to the surprise party. I felt awful and offered to make it up to her, but she brushed me off and hung up. When I tried talking to her on Monday, she was distant and uninterested. Chris thinks I did nothing wrong, but I feel like a jerk for missing the event she planned. So, was I wrong for not going bowling with Whitney? I don't think you're the jerk here. This seems like a massive communication fail on Whitney's part. She could have hinted at a special plan or surprise instead of making it sound like a casual bowling hangout. Her hanging up and giving you the cold shoulder feels manipulative, making you feel guilty for her lack of clarity. And calling you ungrateful for something you didn't even know about, that's absurd. Sure, planning a surprise party is sweet, but you can't just expect someone to read your mind and then get mad when they don't. The top commenter agrees, saying you're not the jerk. You declined bowling and no one mentioned a party. Whitney should have made more effort, especially knowing you prefer low-key plans. Another commenter noted that usually, someone close, like a spouse, is looped in to ensure the guest of honor shows up. Another pointed out it's odd Whitney didn't tell her brother Chris, and gave up after one call. If it was a surprise, she could have texted Chris to nudge you or been upfront after you declined. Some even suspect Whitney wanted this to flop to make you look bad. Later, the original poster, OP, shared an update. A day after posting, they talked with Chris, who was clueless about the party, which was strange since he and Whitney talked daily. OP found it odd she didn't tell her own brother. The next day, OP confronted Whitney, asking why she kept both them and Chris in the dark. Whitney snapped, saying she didn't owe anyone an explanation, and that as her sister-in-law, OP should have just gone bowling. OP countered that it was her birthday and she should choose how to spend it. Whitney called OP a horrible person, blamed her for the party's failure, and demanded repayment for the money spent on it. OP refused, ending the conversation as it was going nowhere. Later, OP's mother-in-law called, labeling OP an ungrateful brat for not appreciating Whitney's efforts and insisting OP reimburse her for decorations, food, and the cake. Chris defended OP, saying they wouldn't pay since OP only learned about the party after it was over. The mother-in-law hung up after that. OP told Chris they needed space from his mom and sister, feeling this whole ordeal was an unfair attack. It's frustrating that they're so angry, yet can't see Whitney's fault in not communicating. OP isn't ready for full no contact, but is keeping distance for now. They hope to share happier news later, but are content with this decision for now. Commenters called it a setup, noting it's suspicious Whitney didn't involve Chris to ensure OP's attendance. It seems like Whitney and her mom have an issue with OP, and this was a way to paint her as the bad guy. Taking a step back feels like the right move. What do you all think? Share your thoughts below, and let's move to the next story. Our next tale comes from User Done and Fed Up on the True Off My Chest subreddit. Trigger warnings: self-harm, mental health issues, suicide attempts, possible grooming, and PTSD. If you'd rather skip, timestamps are in the description and timeline below. The post is titled, My sister's furious I cut contact with our mom for her creepy behavior. I need to vent, but I'm not sure where to begin. My dad isn't perfect, but he tried to be there for us. My mom, however, uses her mental health diagnosis as an excuse for her actions and refuses treatment. Growing up, my sister and I would come home to either a silent house with mom curled up in bed or couch, too depressed to move, or her blasting music while obsessively cleaning. We preferred the quiet days because her manic moods often turned verbally abusive, sometimes physical. She constantly accused Dad of cheating, refusing to share a bedroom with him. I don't know if he cheated, it wouldn't shock me, but it was a toxic environment. Once, when she tried to force her into inpatient care, she threatened divorce and worse if he tried again. She got worse over time. When I was 16 and my sister 14, we overheard her screaming on the phone about killing herself in front of us. I took my sister to a nearby creek to swim, unsure how else to cope. That night, Dad told us they were divorcing. We were relieved, and my sister confessed we'd heard Mom's threat. After tears, court battles, and protective orders, we didn't have to see Mom unless we chose to. Realizing we didn't want to be around her chaos, she started taking her mental health more seriously, but never forgave Dad for leaving her at her lowest. I get why he left. That house was unbearable. Now at 22, I've seen Dad start dating again. His girlfriend is wonderful, age-appropriate, and they do cute things like visit farmers markets and antique shops. Mom, who's dated on and off since the divorce, took it hard, calling Dad's girlfriend names and claiming it proved he cheated. We had a heated argument where I told her to move on and stop embarrassing herself. I apologized for my harsh words, though I meant them. Less than a month later, she flaunted a new boyfriend closer to my sister's age than hers. It feels like a jab at Dad, but it's gross. This guy, younger than me, is playing house with my mid-50s mom. It's predatory and unsettling, but they're both legal adults, so I can't do anything. I suspect he's with her for her house and financial stability, or worse, she's grooming him. I've mostly stopped talking to her, citing work as an excuse. My sister visited Monday, saying Mom misses me and is cooking my old favorite meal Saturday. I doubt she means the cold pizza I'd sneak from my sister, but whatever. I avoided the topic, but my sister pressed, and I snapped that I didn't want to watch a 50-something get cozy with a college kid. She was stunned, asking if I was serious. When I nodded, she exploded, cursing me and asking why I couldn't let Mom be happy. I said I'd rather she be happy with someone her age and won't pretend to be okay with this. She hit me, got banned from my place, and now Mom's sending tearful texts and voicemails asking if I hate her. I haven't told friends about my family's mess and mostly stick to Dad or my sister. Writing this helped. Thanks for reading. OP added comments. One user suggested cutting contact for a break. OP said they can't block Mom due to fears she'd harm herself, a worry since they're teens. They love her despite her flaws, but keep contact minimal, hoping she'll change. Another asked if Mom was in therapy before her new boyfriend. OP confirmed she was on meds and therapy for bipolar disorder, but questions her happiness, noting past relationships fizzled quickly. OP finds it creepy she dates guys barely out of high school and can't stomach it, even if it's legal. Therapy isn't an option for OP due to no insurance and distrust of the local facility Mom attends. On favoritism, OP said Mom favored them slightly, treating them like garbage but their sister worse. OP and Dad bonded over football, while their sister felt left out, now siding with Mom and blaming Dad for breaking the family. OP gravitates toward Dad for less stress. It sounds like you endured a nightmare growing up, often shielding your sister. She may not grasp the full extent of your pain. You don't owe Mom your presence, especially with her untreated mental health issues and this unsettling relationship. Her guilt-tripping texts scream manipulation. About 11 months later, OP updated. After a talk with their sister about their fight, OP recalled comments suggesting bipolar disorder might be hereditary. Reflecting on their sister's behavior, OP convinced her to get tested, agreeing to do the same to ease her defensiveness. They found affordable therapy options, and OP now has insurance through a new job, covering their sister too. Tests showed their sister has bipolar 1 like Mom, while OP has PTSD from Mom's behavior. Mom ditched the young boyfriend weeks after the post, now dating someone else but unchanged. OP's sister may cut contact too, which OP supports. Therapy helped OP see their normal arguments with Mom as trauma triggers. They blocked Mom after telling her they needed space, and she eventually calmed down. On a bright note, Dad's marrying his girlfriend, and OP's thrilled for them. Their antique glass collection is museum-worthy, and they're genuinely happy. Commenters cheered OP's progress, praising their care for their sister and medical answers. OP thanked those who suggested checking their sister's mental health, crediting them for her diagnosis. OP and their sister are closer, fighting less, and she's excelling in school. OP's grateful for spotting her sister's struggles early, unlike Mom's delayed help. What do you think of this? Share below. Huge thanks for joining today. Your support means everything. See you in the next one. Take care and much love.